We're excited about our staff. We're excited about Scott Linehan. We can't wait to get to work. What a great hire for the LSU Tigers. He and Ensminger are going to fit along great together. He brought exactly what we wanted to our program.
You mentioned it, Coach, when you were looking to replace this spot, somebody was going to have to bring value to the room. I mean, you guys learned so much about your offense and what you wanted to do last season and kind of created the identity. What made Linehan stick out?
I think his expertise on third down and in the red zone. And let's face it, we have a great package here. We're going to continue to do the things that we know how to do here. I think Steve Ensminger has done a great job of running this offense. He's going to help Steve in the third down game planning and the red zone and perhaps call some third down, some red zone. We'll see how he and Steve works. I think it's going to be a great combination.
So there's been a lot of staff movement here lately, Coach. Scott Linehan, that's obviously the biggest story, but y'all hired a couple offensive analysts as well. What can you say about those guys?
I think those guys have brought in a lot of expertise. We got all the Cleveland Brown stuff. We got a young man from Sanford who was one of the leading coaches in that league. Those guys bring in some expertise in the spread offense, bring us some different ideas, and also can handle the workload in the offense and the offense in the office every day. So I think we brought in some great guys. I got into this morning at 5:30. They were already at work. I was really impressed with these young guys.
Last time we talked to you in the air, the news had just become fresh that you were bringing on Bo Pelini to the staff. Now you've had an opportunity to work with him in the building a little bit and see him at work. How's that going?
He's a game changer. I mean, exactly what we wanted. Bo's a force. He knows his stuff. The players are already connected to Bo. He brings a lot of energy, but he's an expert on his defense. We're a 4-3 defense, an attacking defense. Our players are excited about it.
We talked to Tommy Moffitt last week, and we asked him about these mid-year enrollees, Coach. You gave us a little tip-off about a couple of them, but some of these guys standing out, and it seems like this number 4 recruiting class that you guys brought in last week is really standing out for the guys that are on campus now.
You look at Elias Ricks, tall corner. He had a shoulder operation, but he's going to be ready sometime mid-spring. Outstanding athlete, one of the best players in the country at his position. Jordan Tolles looks great at safety, can run and hit, and very athletic. Obviously, Rick Gilbert, Rick is one of the best tight ends that come out in the country in the last 15 to 20 years, but he can also play X and Z. He's not going to be going through spring ball because of an operation on his shoulder. B.J. Ojulari, his teammate, has tremendous burst, tremendous get-off. I think he's going to be a force at defensive end. We got a lot of young guys we're excited about. I'm excited about our 2 quarterbacks, T.J. Finley and Max Johnson. Those guys look phenomenal. So we got a great class coming in. I can't wait till Jacqueline Roy, Jacobin Guillory, Philip Webb, and all the great defensive linemen we got coming in. Our 2 outstanding linebackers, Josh White and Antoine Sapp, and the offensive line. I think Coach Jimmy Craig has done a great job recruiting the offensive line. So we have the guy I didn't mention is Cole Taylor, very athletic, 6'6", tight end that can run and catch. So I'm excited about this class.
Coach, how do you handle when you bring in a guy like Pelini who has so much experience on that side of the ball, allowing him to evaluate the players before they get on the field? How's that process work?
We had what we call a good and must improve tape of 20 plays on each player. So that was in his locker, so he can watch that. And in fact, tomorrow we're going to watch those tapes with our players, have a little evaluation, tell them what they did well, and tell them what they must and will improve on. So I think that it's been a learning process. He sees them in the fourth quarter. We're going to have fourth quarter next week starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. We have football school where we can do some skill drills with him. So he's starting to learn his players.
Talking to LSU head coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench. Coach, after a championship there, because you've talked about it in the past, this team last year was hungry, right? They really wanted it. How do you keep these guys motivated after they just put together, what everybody, like us in the media, are all calling maybe the greatest single season of all time?
So first of all, we got to put it to bed. Last season is gone. Now we're in spring ball. There's some new guys. They're hungry. These guys are early. Those guys paved the way. They showed them how to do it. But you know what? We got to go back to the basics. We got to go back to the fundamental: one team, one heartbeat, practicing hard, being early, being disciplined. Now, the 1-2's got to come from them. I do believe that they have the 1-2, but they got to show us.
Do you find your leaders on your team right now?
We're going to find them in the fourth quarter. They're going to start in the fourth quarter. Come Monday morning, we'll start at 6. I'm going to start to see some leaders about 6:45. I promise you that. But it's the process. You got to go through spring. You got to go through summer. Last year, Joe led this team in the summer, play-only practice. I think it's the process to go throughout the season. During the season, you got to face some adversity, find out who the leaders are. So I think it's a process that goes throughout the season.
How'd you feel like you guys finished up in recruiting last week?
I feel great. I feel great about the recruiting. Obviously, we missed on a couple of guys, but you know what? We got 6 defensive linemen. I think that we filled some needs. Obviously, cornerback and wide receiver and running back. I thought that those were 3 spots that we needed to get. We still have 3 spots left. I'm going to be looking at some graduate transfers or some transfers at some great positions, and we got a couple of guys left that if they qualify, could become Tigers.
Yeah, and I don't want to nail you down to anything here, but in terms of that center position right now, Lloyd Cushenberry was one of the huge risers this last year. So kind of what is the plan for center going forward here?
Well, Chase Anaheim's got to step up. He's got to step up there, and maybe one of the young freshmen will move there. We're going to see in the spring. Maybe move a couple of guys around for a backup center. Charles Turner is there, the backup center. He's gained some weight. Let's see what he can do. But that's a question mark going into the spring. And I remember 2 or 3 years ago, it was a question mark when Lloyd Cushenberry took over to see if he was big enough. And guess what? He answered every question about him. So we're looking for the next guy to step up.
What are you looking forward to most about spring ball, Coach?
I just can't wait to see the new coaches gel together. See Bo's energy, see Scott getting there, and see us get back to the fundamentals of the grind and being hungry. See our 4-3 attack defense, see Miles Brennan, see the development of our quarterbacks. And it's sure going to look good to see Jamar Chase back out there. I promise you that.
Absolutely. Going up against Derek Stingley Jr.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
That's right.
You should have to charge admission
No doubt.
to watch that daily. What about so you're going to be replacing Sadiq Charles on that offensive line, but I've heard a lot of good things about Dare Rosenthal lately. How are you feeling about left tackle?
I feel outstanding. I think he's going to end up being better than Sadiq. I do believe that he's bigger. He's taller. He has great feet. He played defense in high school. Dare has really matured. I do believe all these practices that we had going into the playoffs, really you can see the younger guys, as you know, T-Bob, they develop. This guy took charge. Now you can see a different spring in their step because they know they just started. They know they're working, and they have a different attitude about themselves.
Coach Moffitt had real high praise about Miles Brennan, not only for what he's doing right now, but kind of how he had set himself up to be in the position that he's at right now, kind of the way he's taking care of business the last year. You've been real high on your quarterback as well.
Yeah, he sat patiently, him and his family patiently. They believed in LSU. I told them we believe in Miles. Now's his time. And we believe that he's very talented. There are some things that he has to get better at. But, Joe had to get better his first year, too, and then continue to grow. Like I said before, all we want is the best Miles Brennan, and that's going to be good enough for us.
Report out of Columbia, Coach, that Will Muschamp will talk to Tommy Robinson, your running backs coach. How do you handle that when the staff, you're trying to solidify your staff and guys are still out there talking a little bit?
Yeah, we have a plan. We wish Tommy the best, and if that does happen, I have a guy that I'm immediately going to replace him with, and I think the fans are going to be very happy.
Talking to Coach Ed Orgeron here. Coach, defensively, we talked to you a few weeks ago, and you said, look, I'm going to let Coach Bo Pelini put in the system that he wants to put in. Although it's going to be multiple, it looks like it is working out of that base 4-3. How are you feeling about your personnel, especially that front seven, adapting to that 4-3?
They love it. We're going to be great. We're going to attack. You got some guys like Tyler Shelvin and Glenn Logan and Apu. I could maybe play Tyler and Apu at the same time up there. You got some defensive ends that can rush. I'm excited about Justin Thomas coming back. Justin weighed 300 pounds. I want him to get down to 285. We got him at right end. He's quick and explosive. We got TK McClendon at left end. Obviously, there's a lot of guys behind him that are going to buy from positions. We can rotate guys. We got Jack and Roy coming in, Jaquibble and Gorey coming in, Hillary. We got Phillip Webb coming in. So it's going to be fun to see these guys compete and let the best man play.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just making you run down the roster at this point, but it's like there's a lot of names that are being replaced here. One of them, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, we know that running back room has a ton of talent. Is like, what's that fight like going on right now between all those guys? Is it pretty competitive in that room?
Very competitive every day. I thought we're watching. Chris Curry, John Emery, Tyron Davis, Kavontae Baffert coming in. I think we have some excellent backs. I'm really pleased with the development of Chris Curry. The game he had against Georgia was phenomenal. I look for him to continue to do that. I look for the young backs to continue to step up. I think we have 4 backs that can play. I'm excited about every one of them.
And that was interesting, Coach. Guys like Cardell Flott in the middle of the season suddenly kind of earning playing time, or Mo Hampton or Chris Curry. It's weird practicing in season, right? Because you can't always get a ton of reps. How did those guys do enough to give you the faith that, you know what, they've earned more playing time?
You got to give credit to the coaches. Bill Bush and Corey Raymond did a tremendous job of putting them in, fundamentally teaching them the defense, letting them grow as young players. And they told me, the coach, they're ready to go. I said, put them in. And you know what? We put them in some situations in practice where they had to prove themselves, and they did. Cordell Flott is to me, is one of the best corners that we're going to have here. Obviously Derek Singh is off the charts, probably one of the greatest corners to play here at LSU. It's going to end up that way. But Cordell Flott is not that far behind. He is an outstanding player, and so is Mo Hampton. Yeah. Now Mo's going to be in baseball this spring, which he's going to miss a couple of things. That was part of the deal. And I will allow guys to play 2 sports. I like it. But those 2 young men are going to be very, very instrumental in our success next year.
Yeah, and absolutely. Elias Ricks is coming in.
Yeah, Jordan Toll's another 2-way guy that's going to play as well. Things looking up as always for the best coach in college football, Ed Orgeron, as he stops by here on Tuesday morning. Off-season, Tigers looking to get back out on the spring field as 2019 national championship in the rearview mirror. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Go Tigers.
There he is. Coach O checking in this morning. We'll close that hour 1 next.
Off the bench with